Hello leaders, thank you so much for deciding to click on this video to view this video where I provide for you the tips to acing that Mandela Washington Fellowship interview. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, who is this lady who's telling us about the tips to ace the MWF interview? My name is Mapifa Gypsy Pearl Mabapa. I am a global leader, a follower and a friend of Christ, partly human, partly God, mostly angel, on a mission here on planet Earth. And today the mission, like I said, is to ensure that you ace the interviews. So you did very well by coming here. It's not a coincidence. Make sure to click the like and subscribe button. Let's get right into it. Thank you for coming. You're welcome. Now, the tips that I'm applying are the same tips that I applied in my interview in 2018 when I went for my interviews. Let's get right into the first one. The first tip I will give to you is to establish a connection from the moment that you enter the room. It's time to put your game face on. Now, this is a very competitive field. It's a very competitive initiative. So you need to ensure that you do your best to shine from the rest. They have seen many who are doing greater projects than you. They've seen many who are unique in their own way, who grabbed their attention in a certain way. You surely need to join the line and be as competitive as you can be. My first advice when you enter the room is to smile, be confident, and ensure that you give each and every one of them a handshake. If it's 200 of them, then you give 200 of them a handshake. Now, a handshake establishes a connection to show that you respect them and you are confident in your own self. It shows that you are there for an experience. It's not just an interview, it's an encounter with people who are part of your tribe. Those are the exact people you need to be connecting with to ensure that your brand, your project, your organization, your company goes to further lengths than it already is at. So establish a connection, which also breaks the ice. It really, really does. Having that personal contact, it breaks the ice. You also, when you sit down, feel as though I've established something heavy has left me. I feel welcomed because you've established connection. So when you enter the room and when you leave the room, establish that. In leaving the room and giving them a handshake, you're showing them that I appreciate that you came here just for me. You got dressed, you put on your cologne just for me, and I am grateful for that. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Say that. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Thank you for this opportunity. And shake their hands. It could be the difference between you and someone else. Trust me when I say this. The line is too thin. The line between making it and breaking it is way too thin. And anything matters in that moment. So cultivate the habit of forming connections and leaving a lasting impression. First impressions, they do last. The second tip I will give to you is to be cautious of your actions. Be aware of how you're acting in the interview. Ask to be seated just after the handshake. Don't just pull out the chair and sit there as though it is your mother's house. It is not. Ask to be seated. May I have a seat? Shall I? With a smile. And when you are seated, be cautious of how you do this. I will link below the videos to some interview etiquette so that you understand and you visualize exactly what I am talking about. I wish you all the best. The third tip that I am going to give you, that I certainly did, was to center myself. Now, centering yourself means that you talk to yourself. Self, we are here. This is the moment, and you deserve to be here. You are supposed to be here. This is exactly where you are supposed to be on this day, in this hour, during this year, at this time. I was predestined to sit on this seat. These people left their own places to make room for me, to get to know me. Yes, I am important. Though I might be serving individuals who seem as though they have no importance to society, however, I am a leader in my own right, and for the fact that I have been serving the community, the higher whole God spirit saw that I deserve this moment and put me where I'm supposed to be, and I will own this moment. I will sit in the seat and I will do excellent. I will do my best. Nerves, you will have to wait. That's exactly what I did. You need to coach yourself. You need to speak to yourself. Do not leave yourself vulnerable, because in that moment you will be nervous, and it is important to have your own back. Your mother will not be there, your father will not be there, your beneficiaries and your team that you spend most of the time with won't be there. It is an opportunity for you to go see other young people like you and form collaborations and grow. You will be nervous, and when that moment comes, remember this tip: center yourself, coach yourself, and know that you're capable, you're intelligent, you're equally able and supposed to be in that room. Because the Mandela Washington Fellowship has a tendency of making you feel very inadequate because of the caliber of people in that room. Trust me, it's some of the greatest, youngest minds on planet Earth. You will feel the heat. In that moment, remember to center yourself and speak to yourself. This tip is now the crux of the matter. Now, if you have already liked what you have been hearing, remember to like the video right now, roundabout now, yes, there we go, and subscribe to this channel. It would really mean a lot if you did that. I would really appreciate that. So hit that bell button, that subscribe button, and that like button. Now, let's get back into it. Now we get into the crux of the matter. Oh yes, we do. This is tip number 4. Now, the 4th tip that I will give to you is about your introduction. I know quite a few of my mentees have been running around saying, "Mentor, how do we go about our introductions? What do we say?" There's so much to say about myself. What do I put first? What do I put last? A whole jungle of things that are running and pacing in your head about how to introduce yourself. It is such a simple thing. The question they're asking you when you're introducing yourself, or when they want you to introduce yourself, is, who are you? They might ask you, tell us about yourself and the work that you do. Or they might just ask you, tell us about yourself. Now, when they ask me, tell us about yourself and the work that you do, I was very honest, and I would also urge you to be honest and listen attentively to the question. Don't listen to what you think they asked you. Answer what they asked you. Tell us about yourself and the work that you do. Yourself. Okay. We want to know who you really are. Don't tell me I am the president and the co-founder. That is not who you really are. Because when we strip away the titles, who are you? When we take everything away, who are you? My first introduction to you was, I am part human, I am part God, I am mostly angel. It's titles, it's personalities, characters, and spirits you cannot take away from me. It sounds odd, but when you do tell us who you really are, you are different and set apart. People are going to be coming in and saying, candidates will be coming in and saying, I'm the president of this, I'm the co-founder of this, operations manager, project manager, brand owner, founder of. That's exactly what they're going to say, but that's not the question. Be organic about who you are. I am a mother of 2, and I am a loving person. I am genuine and I am kind. That is what you're supposed to ask. That is what you're supposed to answer, rather, when you get the question of introduce yourself. They have the application at hand. They don't need to know that. They have the application. So the question they're asking cannot be what you wrote in there. They are asking you about you. In a world where everybody has made it okay to not speak about themselves, that is your PowerPoint moment to say, I was born a plus-sized woman, which is exactly what I said. I was born a plus-sized woman. However, I am resilient being plus-sized. I am ambitious. I am smart, and I am hardworking. I am a bubbly individual who is lovable and kind, partly human, partly God, mostly angel. Now you answered the question, who are you? And sometimes the name that you provide, they don't know what your name means. So what is gypsy? What is Mapifo? Tell them about that. That's who you are. Who are you is the question that they're asking. My name is Tinashe, and Tinashe means God is with us. An American might be interviewing you. Of course they want to know your name. Your name is the essence of who you are. So cultivate the habit of answering questions as they come. Who are you? Introduce yourself and the work that you do. Then you can go into the work you do. What do you do? This is the point where you reiterate your work. You tell them about your work, and then you tell them about the goals that you have, the short-term goals and the long-term goals. They are not going to ever in the interview ask you, tell us about your goals. So you answer the questions that you want you answer, or you tell them what you want them to know about you. Certain things that they will not ask you. It is your responsibility to know what you want them to know about yourself and to jot it down. Remember to time yourself. Time yourself, which is the next point, and I will reiterate it more in the next coming point. Remember to tell them about exactly who you are, and about the work that you do. In telling them about the work that you do, reiterate the point of your goals, short-term goals and long-term goals. You only have 3 questions that you're going to answer. You only have 15 minutes. You want to tell them as much about yourself as possible without being all over the place. So learn to structure your questions as well. The 5th tip will be to time your questions. Time your questions. How many minutes are you given? I am given 15 minutes. Okay. I'm going to take 5 minutes for greetings, coming into the room, leaving the room, and giving them the floor to ask me some question, asking them for clarity. So you don't have the whole 15 minutes. You only have about 10 minutes. So the 3 questions, the introduction and the other 2 or 3 questions are just about your work and will be within the 10-minute time frame. So time yourself. Each question should take 3 minutes, no more than 3 minutes. If you take more than 3 minutes to answer a question, you don't really know the answer. So whatever it is that you're asking or yourself as you prepare, make sure to put a timer to time yourself. That way, psychologically, when you answer the question in the interview room, you know, when I was preparing and practicing, I didn't take this long, so I'm probably rambling right now. So learn to time yourself, time your questions, no more than 3 minutes, no more than 3 minutes per question. In timing yourself, understand this point. You only have 10 seconds to grab the attention of your interviewer. So in 10 seconds with each question, make sure you hit it off the mark. Make sure you answer directly what they're asking you. Hit that question on the mark. 10 seconds. After that, you are reiterating what you said in the 10 seconds. Don't take 30 seconds to make your point. Then you really don't know your work as well as you say you do. Trust me when I say it took me a month, and everything that I did in that month was go through my application, ask myself impossible question, time myself. I did the extra work that I needed to get done. I prayed 10 times more. I made sure that in timing myself, I could listen to myself as I speak. I spoke softly, slowly. I took it at my own pace. Yet I was cautious of the 3 minutes time frame, that after 3 minutes, no one is listening anymore. Absolutely no one. And after 10 seconds, I'm rambling. So in 10 seconds, reiterate the point that you want to get across. This tip is about timing yourself. Cultivate the habit of timing yourself. Practice timing yourself. Time yourself. I cannot reiterate that more than I have. Time yourselves. And you will thank me. Trust me, you will. Because sometimes you're nervous and the nerves keep going. They make you speak faster and you grab at straws and you say different things at different times, and those are nerves. So prepare yourself that when those nerves come knocking, you have timed yourself. You're able to have certain measures in place that will tell you in your head, the time is up. You have said everything that you needed to say. If they didn't hear you in 3 minutes, they're not going to hear you in the next 6 minutes of answering one question over and over again. All right? Okay. Now we're getting into the personal statements. Make sure that you combine your personal statements. Okay, remember you have 3 questions, and I know what you're thinking. How am I going to tell them everything in 3 questions? Okay, but we are leaders for a reason. We are smart for a reason. We got there for a reason. Remember to combine your questions, because why? The questions they're going to ask you are the same questions in your application form. The same questions you answered in your application form, you are going to get the same questions. So study your application. Combine your questions. Remember that in the first question, we answered the question, tell us about yourself. We told them about ourselves. And then we also told them about the work that we do. So now they know us. Now they want to know the reasons why we do what we do, who we do it for, how we do it, and how we will continue doing it. However, it's not going to be 4 questions or 5 questions. It's only going to be 2 because we have already answered the first one. Now, this is how you combine your questions. When you combine your personal statement questions, you combine the first question and the second question. So the first thing to do is to apply the MAS formula. The motivation, the accomplishment, the special skills, okay? The motivation, the accomplishments, and the special skills. So you have already answered 2 questions in one. So you tell them about what motivates you, and then you tell them the accomplishments. But even if they didn't ask you, you immediately tell them what you are supposed to learn, the skills that are needed to, accomplish your short-term goals and your long-term goals. So now this would be the perfect time to say, this is what motivates me. What motivates me is da 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 da. And because of this, I have accomplished this, this, and this. Or during this process, I have accomplished this, this, and this. However, I have seen that this has now changed the trajectory of the organization. And it means that now my short-term goals would be da 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 da. And then making my long-term goals to be da 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 da. So you have already answered 2 questions in one. That is the smartest way you can go about it. And to ensure that you find the most precise, straight to the point way of doing it. So this would mean you have to rewrite down everything that you have accomplished, what motivated you, your special skills, and turn them into, one answer so that you're ready for it when they do ask you that question. And be precise, straight to the point. Make sure that you answer it in 3 minutes. Make sure that you grab them in the first 10 seconds of your answer. All right? Okay. And then you will move on to the third question. Now, the third question would mean that you have to combine question 3 on your application, question 4, and question 5. So this means that you will be combining your personal statement 3, 4, and 5 as the third answer to your third question. So this means that you will now be applying the TTWH formula. This means the needs that your project is addressing, the steps you regularly take, the challenges that you have faced, and how you have solved them. This would be combined into one. Seems impossible? It is more impossible to be called for the Mandela Washington interview than it is to answer this question. This question is very easy if you have already made it this far. So this means you would say, the needs that my project are addressing are da 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 da. And therefore the steps I usually take is or are, and while we were taking that process, we met some few challenges, if I must mention, as na. And the way in which we have been able to solve that really has been by doing da 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 da. So the question that they just asked you was probably 1, but you made sure that they know everything about you in 3 questions. You made sure that you answered all your personal statements in 3 questions. Remember, time yourself. 3 minutes for each question. Grab the attention in the first 10 seconds. Remember what you have studied in your application. Be confident. Look them in the eyes. Nod more than you shake your head. When you do not have clarity, ask questions. And just like that, we have come to the end of our interview tips. Thank you to our sponsors who make everything possible. All of you are a pivotal part of this organization. Thank you to every single one of you who made sure you watched to this far. Remember that if you want any of my assistance, I am readily available to help you. Just go into my description and click the WhatsApp link and you will find me ready to take you through this process. Remember that you need to be a good servant before you're even a great leader. I wish you all the best, and may the Lord, who helped me as I went through this process, be kind enough to also help you as well. To my team, my beneficiaries, all my mentees, every single person who's made this journey possible, thank you.